So we are going to go over the Lesson 7 practice problems, and we are doing Lesson 8 today. If I can get there. Okay, so what did he do that was slightly different than how I did these problems? What did he do that was slightly different? Harper?
He really didn't put a lot of labels on his ratios.
Okay, didn't put a whole lot of labels on his ratios. What else? What did he label that I typically don't? The batches, okay? And I think it's a good idea too. You don't always need to know the number of batches, but how long would it take us to label the batches? Not long, and it gives us a lot more information. So again, I just like you to see it from different perspectives. Every teacher you have could teach it slightly different. It's all essentially the same thing. So number 1, it gave us the ratio of 2 tablespoons of sugar to 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for the filling for the cinnamon rolls. And it wanted us to create a double number line for 3, does it say 2 up here? Or no, 2's already there. So 3, 4, and 5 batches. So they already have 1 batch and 2 batch. So since he showed you batches, I'm going to go ahead and add in batches down here. That's 1 batch, 2, 3, no, that's wrong. 0 batches, 1 batch, 2 batch, 3, 4, 5. If you don't have the batches at the bottom, that's okay. It doesn't have to be there. It's just that's how he showed it. Why is it important to know that this one is only 1 batch when I have multiple batches on my number line? Why is it important to know that's 1 batch? Livy? Yeah, because that's the one that I have to multiply to get the other batches. Okay? So how do I get 3 batches? Jalen, how do I find 3 batches of that?
You count, like, you just look down the batches, and those 3, you just look up.
Okay, 3 batches, but how do I get the numbers that go there?
You just do, for cinnamon, you do 3.
Okay.
Add on.
Okay, you can add on because of the pattern, but really it's 1 times 3 is what?
Oh, 3.
Is 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. Once you get several, then you can just follow the pattern. So 1, 2, 3, this would be 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, this would be 8 and 10. From that, they could ask us lots of questions. This one didn't really, but they could say, if I have, or if I use 8 tablespoons of sugar, how much cinnamon do I need? If I have 8 tablespoons of sugar, Cooper, how much cinnamon do I need?
4.
4. Okay, it's just being able to read the double number line. What if in my pantry I have 7 tablespoons of sugar and 5 teaspoons of cinnamon? How many batches could I make? If I have 7 tablespoons of sugar and 5 teaspoons of cinnamon in my pantry, how many batches could I make? I'm going to repeat it again. We're looking for how many batches if I have 7 tablespoons of sugar and 5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Haley, what do you think?
3.
Why 3?
Because it's between 3 and 4.
Okay, because I said 7 sugar, which would be about right here, and I said 5 cinnamon, which would be there. Why would some people say 5 batches? Nolan?
Because of the 5 cinnamon.
Because 5 cinnamon teaspoons is 5 batches, but do I have enough sugar for that? No, so you have to look at the ingredient that you have the least of, and you can't make more than that. So if I knew that number for cinnamon, I could do that, but the lowest one I know is 3 batches, or the closest one. So they could ask us lots of questions like that. With the double number line, I'm going to keep saying it. In this section, it forced you to write them. It said, create a double number line. In the future, you probably won't create a double number line unless the problem tells you to do so. They are useful if one is given to us. We just really have to know how to read them and interpret the information. Okay, number 2. 1 batch of meatloaf contains 2 pounds of beef and half a cup of breadcrumbs. If I can get this. Complete the double number line diagram to show the amounts of beef and breadcrumbs needed for 1, 2, 3, and 4 batches. So 0, 0, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Under it, I'm just going to label the batches. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 1 batch? Addie, what are my numbers for 1 batch? Up here. Beef and breadcrumbs, number 2. What's my first batch? Tick marks. Okay, so breadcrumbs is 1/2. What's my beef? Two. Yep, so it'd be 2 and 1/2 should be lined up. What's my second set, Sophie?
4 and 1.
Just 4 and 1 whole, because 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole. Okay, Jude, what's the next set?
6 and 1 and 1/2.
6 and 1 and 1/2. Last one, Carter?
8 and 2.
8 and 2. 8 and 2. Again, from there they could ask us lots of questions. If I have 4 cups of breadcrumbs, let's not do 4 pounds of beef. Chase, how many cups of breadcrumbs do I need? 4 pounds of ground beef, how much breadcrumbs? 1. 1 breadcrumb? 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Do you know what a breadcrumb is? It's a crumb of bread. Do you think that's enough for a meatloaf? Do you know what a meatloaf is? I don't like it, but do you think if you put 1 breadcrumb in a meatloaf, really you'd have a giant hamburger with a tiny piece of bread in it. Okay, number 3. A recipe for tropical fruit punch says combine 4 cups of pineapple juice with 5 cups of orange juice. Create a double number line showing the amount of each type of juice in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 batches of the recipe. For this one, I'm going to do it on the whiteboard because we're going to have to add to it in just a second. Maybe. It pulls it up every time. Okay, so it said create a double number line. Zero. How many batches up to 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are my labels? What should my labels be, Sadie? Okay, I'm going to call that PJ. How are we measuring it? In cups. And OJ in cups. And then I'm going to go ahead and write the batches just up at the top because I know I'm going to be adding another one. So that's 0 batches, 1 batch, 2, 3, 4, 5 batches. What was the given ratio, Sophia?
There were combined 4 cups of pineapple juice and 5 cups of orange juice.
Okay, 4 pineapple, 5 OJ. Next one, Ethan, what's 2 batches going to be?
8 and 10.
8 and 10, because 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. Ella, what's the next set? 12 and 15. Cooper, next set? 16 and 20. Chase, last set? 20 and 25. Okay, so that was part A. Part B said, if 12 cups of pineapple juice are used with 20 cups of orange juice, will the recipe taste the same? So Cooper, can you read me those numbers again? What was that? 12 pineapple?
Yeah.
So if we mix 12 pineapple with 20 orange juice, will it taste the same? No. Stella, how do we know just by looking at our double number line it won't taste the same?
Because there's more orange juice and pineapple. It's not
You're right. Cooper, why?
It's not lined
Yeah, they're not lined up. The ones that are lined up are the ones that are the equivalent ratio. So for B, your answer would be no. Your explanation, Stella said there would be too much orange juice. Now, anytime if you're able to fix it, add in how you could fix it. How could we fix this recipe? It's already mixed together, so can we take away orange juice? No. What could I do, Harper?
Add 4 cups of pineapple juice.
Yeah, we could add, if we have 20 cups of orange juice in there, we could add 4 more cups of pineapple juice to make it taste the same. Okay, sometimes you can't make it better, depending on what the ingredients are. But on this one, we could easily make it back to its normal flavor if we add in what's missing. Okay, then part C told us to, the recipe also calls for a 1/3 cup of lime juice for every 5 cups of orange juice. Add a line to your diagram to represent the amount of lime juice in different batches of the tropical fruit punch. So I'm going to add another line in. I'm going to squeeze it in right here. My tick marks should all be in the same spot. So now I just have a triple number line. We look at it the same way. This is now lime juice in cup, or it's still cups, isn't it? Okay, in cups. This is still 0. What ratio does it give us? What ratio does it give us, Harper? 1/3 of a cup of lime juice to 5 cups of orange juice. So I line up 5 cups of orange juice, 1/3. So it's really giving me one batch is what it's telling me. It just gives it to me in different words. Now we got to think back to our fractions. What's 1/3 times 2? Livy? 2/3. It's 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. So 2/3. 1/3 times 3. Chase? 1 whole, because it's really 3/3, which reduces to 1 whole. 1/3 times 4 is 4/3. Now I'm going to pause, because on tonight's homework, you will get some answers that look like that. What do we do to those numbers, Nate?
You make a mixed number?
Yeah, we change them into mixed numbers. Have we been practicing that? Yes, we should be practicing that on our weekly worksheets. We just take 4 divided by 3. So that would be 1 and 1/3. What would the next one be? 1 and 2/3. Good job. Okay, now, from here, if I have this triple number line, they could still ask me lots of questions. If I have a tropical fruit punch in a jar, sorry, let me do some math real quick. If I have 28 cups of tropical fruit punch in a what are they? Pitcher. There we go, pitcher. I couldn't think what they were called. In a pitcher. How much of it is orange juice? Look at my triple number line. I want everybody looking at the board, everybody trying to figure out this problem. If I have 28 cups of tropical fruit punch, remember that's my recipe for tropical fruit punch in a pitcher, how much of it is orange juice? I want everybody to get an answer. 28 cups of tropical fruit punch. How much of it is orange juice? Ethan, what do you think? Who can just guide him in the right direction? Nate, guide him in the right direction. What does he have to think about? Okay, the total is 28. The total is 28. So we're looking for which column adds to 28. Jalen, which column am I focusing on? The third column, because if you add 12 cups plus 15 cups plus 1 cup, which is the whole recipe, we would get 28 total cups of tropical fruit punch. Sophie, how many of those have to be orange juice for it to taste right?
35 cups.
Not 35, because our total here, so Jalen told us we're focusing on this column right here. Because 12 plus 15 plus 1 is 28, so I have 28 total cups. How many of them have to be orange juice, Dane?
15.
15. How many of them have to be pineapple juice, Jude?
12.
12. How many cups of lime juice, Nate?
1.
1. Okay, so once we have these, a lot of times they'll just ask us questions like that to make sure we understand what these numbers mean. Okay, questions on that problem? Were there any more that I missed? Any more questions on that? Nope. Okay. Let me go back to the book. Okay, number 4, did it say anything about a double number line? No, you could have used a double number line, but it's not the easiest way to do it. A lot of people probably did because we were in the double number line section. That's fine. You're getting to a point where if it doesn't say double number line, I'm going to keep stressing, don't draw a double number line. There's usually an easier way. So for this one, it tells us 1 batch of pink paint uses 2 cups of red paint and 7 cups of white paint. My made a large amount of pink paint by using 14 cups of red. My suggestion, if they don't tell you which strategy to use equivalent ratios. Okay, if you have to show work, which do you have to show work? Always. Use equivalent ratios. So what ratio does it give me? Nate, what ratio does it give me?
7 to 14.
No. In my one batch. What's my 1 batch of paint?
7 to 14.
Not 7 to 14. Jalen? 2 to 7. 1 batch of pink paint uses 2 cups of red, 7 cups of white. So it's saying I'm going to take 2 cups of red, mix it with 7 cups of white, and that makes some pink paint. So we are going to use a red to white ratio of 2 to 7. Nate, what's the third number it gave me?
14.
14. It says, I made a large amount of pink paint using 14 cups of red. Where do I put that 14? Stella? If it's red paint.
I put it at the top.
At the top? Why should I put it at the top?
Because it's red.
Because it's red and I have red on top. Now, I have a missing piece here, but I have to read and see what it wants me to, what it's asking me. Let's go ahead and ignore the questions. Let's ignore the questions for a second because we could go lots of different ways. Nolan, what if I just wrote this problem down with no context, no questions above it, what would you probably do?
Like try and figure out what the box is by seeing what's the multiplier from 2 to 14.
Yeah, you'd figure out 2 times what equals 14.
7.
Okay, and then what?
49.
Times 7 is 49. So if I just gave you this and no questions, that's probably the work you guys would do, right? So now let's read the questions. It says, how many batches of pink paint did she make? Do I have that answer in that work?
Yeah.
Livy, where is that answer? Yeah, my multiplier is the number of batches. So 7 batches. Okay, B says, how many cups of white paint did she use, Haley? 49 cups of white. Okay, so it asked 2 different questions from that one problem. Questions on that one? Okay, Addie, number 5, give me 1 equivalent ratio to 3 to 11.
I think times
Okay, what'd you get?
5. No, 6, 20 to 22.
6 to 22. Sophia, give me another one.
12 to 44.
12 to 44. Give me another one. Stella?
9 to 33.
9 to 33. Cooper?
15 to 55.
Okay, lots of other ones are possible. Nolan, how do we know all of those are equivalent?
Their simplest form is the same.
The simplest form is the same. Their simplest form is the same. Yes. Or they are the same in simplest form. Okay, number 6, last one. Here is a diagram that represents the pints of red and yellow paint in a mixture. Select all statements that accurately describe the diagram. The ratio of yellow to red, frozen again. Yellow to red is 2 to 6. Is yellow to red 2 to 6? Yes, so A should be circled. My dot's not working. B, for every 3 red, there is 1 yellow. I would cover up this whole side and just focus on right there. For every 3 red, is there 1 yellow? Yes. True. So A and B should be circled. C, for every pint of yellow, which means 1, for every 1 yellow, there are 3 red. Yes. Yes. D, for every pint of yellow, there are 6 red. No. E, the ratio of red to yellow is 6 to 2.
Yes.
Yes, that one is also true. Okay? So lesson 6 and lesson 7 were very, very similar. Lesson 8 says how much for 1. At the top of this one, hold on, I have to get my board to unfreeze. Darn it. At the top of this one, above where it says lesson 8, up there in the margin, I want you to write unit price. U-N-I-T, price, P-R-I-C-E. And if I shut this down, my video won't save. But I can't. Unit price. What is unit price? Does anybody know what unit price is? Dane?
How much something costs?
Can you add to it?
By itself.
Like, give me an example. How much something costs by itself? Add to it. What do you mean by that?
Like, if you're buying 3 boxes of cereal, the unit price will be what 1 box of cereal.
Okay, so like if you shop at Sam's or even Walmart, okay, like at Sam's, you can buy like 3 boxes of cereal in a single box. You might get Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes, and Apple Jacks. One really bag of each inside 1 box. The box costs $15. What is the unit price for each bag, Harper? $5, okay? The price per product, price per 1 product. That's unit price. That's a ratio that you guys will actually, I highly suggest you become familiar with when you become financially independent. What does that mean?
You pay your own
Haley?
When you spend money on your own.
When you are spending your own money. Why do you think it will be important to be conscious of unit price when you are financially independent, Jude?
So you don't get scammed.
No, not so you don't get scammed. I mean, it's so that you make smart decisions, smart money decisions. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull this up on my Chromebook. The whole board is like done for. So I'm gonna shut this down.
But your video will save.
Yep, that video won't save. I don't